Hello, it is currently Saturday, January 18th, which means we are not far away, as I'm recording this, from maybe my TikTok not being something I can see. So I wanted to look at the top 10 TikToks I made throughout my history as a TikToker, which I really was for a while. I was like a TikToker, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good time and very weird. My number one TikTok has 12 million views, and my number two has 13.9. So I don't know what that means. Maybe it's ranked by number of likes. This one has more likes. This one has 3.2 likes, and this one has 3 million. So yeah, I guess it's by likes. That's not what I was expecting it to be. Am I sad? Yes. But I don't know if I'm sad. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I know that we're headed into one of two possible futures. Both of them I dislike. One is where TikTok goes dark, and then Donald Trump brings it back because laws don't matter. And the other is where it stays dark because laws do matter. And there's just like, I feel like it is a bigger loss than people realize. But I think where I'm at right now is I just want to appreciate it. So let's experience some of the times. Starting with my number one most popular TikTok.
People are always saying, hey, you're
oh my
straight,
God, it has my feet in it. This is what you sickos want. My one single foot TikTok, and it's number one. I didn't think about it when it happened, but people did mention it after.
People are always saying, hey, you're straight. Why are you so popular on gay TikTok? And I'm like, well, first of all, but second of all, more importantly, look at me.
Oh, God. I don't wear that sweater anymore, but yeah, look at me. I mean, look, I have a lot of different looks, but I get it. I am non-threatening and approachable. Pretty sure Peyton did the emojis on that, because that doesn't seem like something I would do. I don't tend to use the nerd emoji for myself. It strikes a little too close to home. But yeah, I look like that kid from Glee. And we all know that. What did I say in the description? It says, I look like a cross between you lesbian and that one kid from Glee. Oh my God. I hate when I make the same joke in the same circumstance. It makes me feel like a computer program. And we got some comments, top comments. Logan, my friend from high school, who flirted with me a whole bunch, and I did not reciprocate. I'm sorry, Logan. Said, yup, still handsome. This person says, Hank, I love you so much, but you have the fashion sense of a 40-year-old lesbian in Lowe's. And said, and proud. Look, do I right now? No. Look at me. When I bought this jacket, the person at Shields was like, you could take the fur off. And I was like, why would I take the fur off? It's dope. Am I afraid to have fur? Do I look like I'm that insecure? Hank, did you just come out for the 47th time? Here's my situation, re-sexual orientation. I just don't feel a strong affinity to it in general. So I think that's why people feel like, I don't know, he seems straight, but then he's like, maybe he's not. It's just because it's not like a big deal for me. I'm so married. Maddie says, I'm gonna watch this when I'm sad. You know, Maddie, I'm gonna watch some of your videos when I'm sad. I'm gonna keep doing that. You better put all of them on both Instagram and YouTube. Peyton says, Minkus, is that you? Peyton, come on! You uploaded this video and then you mock me in the comments? All right, video number two, second most popular, second most liked TikTok in my history.
Take your own bone marrow and fertilize your own egg
this one's
and
really
have
good.
A kid.
It's nice. I'm glad that the number two was an actual science video.
With yourself.
This has been turning my mind into a goddamn pretzel. The idea is if you could take somebody's stem cells, turn that into a sperm, and then use that to fertilize an egg, then maybe you could have a lesbian couple that could have a baby together with their commingled DNA. But if you can do that, could you do it to yourself? And if you could, that baby would be what exactly? Would it be a clone? No, actually it wouldn't. I've done some math. It would be way worse than that. Seems like it would be a clone, right? Because it's the only genetic material would be the parent's material. But the way gametes work is they swap a bunch of DNA before they get made into gametes that have like half of the amount of genetic information of all the rest of your cells in your body. So in this thought experiment, the child would have only DNA from their parent, but they wouldn't have all of the DNA from their parent. They'd have 25% fewer total genes. 50% of the genes would be the same copy on each chromosome.
So yeah, they'd have fewer total genes because there would be a lot of spots on the chromosome where there would be the same gene on both sides. So they would not have a backup on the other side. They have the same one on both sides. You'd have to do a lot of inbreeding to get to this situation. So it'd be like inbreeding on steroids. Very bad. I am fairly confident that in my lifetime we'll be able to do this. And obviously we will not do it. If you could do that, you could probably do a clone anyway, and that would be way less ethically complicated because you, in this chance where you basically have a baby with yourself, you would be guaranteed a number of disabilities and difficulties for that child. So we're not going to do that. But it's wild to think we could potentially. How would it go? I remember like having to think about this for a long time. And a lot of biology people were like, yeah, I mean, obviously. And I'm like, look, you have to understand. I'm not a biology person anymore. I'm stupid. I'm a stupid internet guy. And I have to be dumb in order to be in the same place as my audience. Sorry, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. You know what I mean, though. Like, I can't, like I have to be, like, obviously, none of us are dumb. We're all smart. You wouldn't be watching this unless you were a curious person, and that's the biggest part of smart. But I have to be in a place where I have to like figure stuff out in the moment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to explain how I figured it out or help guide people through the process of figuring it out. I just don't know as much stuff as I used to, or as an expert on a topic. And that's it's strategically important for me, I've realized. Number 3, most popular TikTok.
Hi. So.
Oh God, no, trauma. Immediate trauma. Oh God, this poor man. Okay, look at my freaking no hairs. Look, Milo, zoom in on the no hairs. Oh, there's so few. Okay, I steel myself, and we will watch this together, and I will be fine. I'll be fine.
With cancer, you get a treatment plan. And
I look so, oh my God, I aged so much.
It comes with a deal. They say you got cancer, here's your treatment plan. It's based on a lot of research, a lot of evidence, a lot of hard work, a lot of other people going through similar things. And with mine, it was chemotherapy and then radiation, which I finished. All of that about a week ago. And I had my first post-treatment follow-up with my oncologist today. And as of today, I am officially in complete remission, which means that I kind of don't have cancer anymore. We have another scan in 3 months to follow up, and then
you can hear my voice is different because during chemo I had acid reflux like the whole time. I was hoarse for that whole experience.
We keep a really close eye on it. Is it still a not insubstantial risk of relapse, but it's pretty low. But hey, if it happens, we'll take that on too. But
that's right. Fist bump, buddy. Woof. Well, so far this has gone fantastic. I always worried that I would be like the cancer guy and not the science guy, or like the fun, like just who I am. And our first 3 videos, Hank Green being Hank Green, a science video, and then the cancer video. So great. That's great. That I did it, everybody. My cancer wasn't more popular than a science fact. That's what I've always wanted to have happen. What do we got in the comments? People just being nice, I'm sure. Yeah, people being nice. My friend Tony, who also is a lymphoma survivor. Josh, who's amazing. Chemthug, I love. Hosier. Oh, just Hosier. Also there. Hosier, do you follow me on TikTok? Am I losing? No. Hosier follows one person on TikTok. Is it Hosier? Oh, it's hidden. He won't even tell anybody who he's following on TikTok. All right. Well, Hosier, let's hang out. He's coming to Missoula soon. Please get in touch. Is that how this works? But thank you, everybody, for your very kind words. No one was mean to me. Peyton isn't in here being like, Minkus, is that you? But you could have, and I probably wouldn't have hated it. You know what occurs to me, recording this after the fact? What's better than my TikToks is honestly SioShow. When I make a TikTok, I don't have a process of fact-checking. I don't have a PhD staff writer working on that. I am messing about on my own, and there's value in that for sure. But the work that the SioShow team does is so valuable, and I'm so proud and such a fan of that work. And honestly, like, feel honored to get to host that show. And I want you all to know that SioShow isn't inevitable. We work really hard to get a lot of views on SioShow content because that is part of having an impact on the world. And also that's part of how we make money. But it is a lot of work to make a SioShow, and it brings a lot of people in to see and understand things from a scientific perspective in a way that I think is very valuable for the world. It's expensive, it's hard, and it does not work without some portion, it's a very small portion, some portion of the audience paying for it so that everybody else doesn't have to pay for it. The ratio is roughly for every 10,000 people who watches SciShow in a year, one of those people will support us through crowdfunding in some way. Right now, and through the end of this week, and then it stops and you can't get it anymore. We are selling SciShow postcards that are signed by all the SciShow hosts. They also have some good art and science facts on them. But also, there's a link to an exclusive frog fact that I filmed right here in my office where I tell you one of my favorite frog facts. And you can get one of those postcards for $25. Obviously, they do not cost $25 to make. All of the rest of that money is going to go to make SciShow a thing that will continue existing in the world. It will allow us to do more cool stuff. It will allow us to be less stressed out about money and more focused on our mission. And it will allow you to know that you are helping to bring good, true, real information into the world, which we really do need a lot right now. And I think in terms of like cost to benefit, this is like very high right now. Thanks to everybody at SciShow for making such a great thing. And thanks to everybody who has ever supported us in any way. If you are able to do it financially right now, you are going to be in an exclusive club of people who we appreciate extraordinarily deeply. Thank you so much to everybody who's able to do that. Just pause the video, go to the link in the description, get one or all 4 of the postcards, and that will, I promise you, be huge for us. And I'm not going to remind you at the end of the video, so you should do it now. Please don't wait, because you'll get distracted. I know you. Or at least I know me. All right, if you've done it, you can now move on and watch the rest of the video. Or at least if you've considered it. You've gone and clicked, and you looked, and you made a responsible financial decision, whatever that was for you, you can now move on in the video. All right, next one. Let's start with the trauma.
So somebody asked me, like a seemingly very
More science.
innocuous question, is ice a rock? And it is!
This is great. This is like quintessential TikTok. Like a thing begins with a little thing and then it compounds upon itself until you end up in an amazing spot. And this is what happened with this video. Started out, ice is a rock. Oh, I'll let him tell you the story.
Geologists say it is. And so then
Geologists say ice is a rock as long as it forms naturally. If it happens in your fridge, it's not a rock. If it happens in nature, that's a rock. There are lots of planets their entire surface is a geology of ice. So ice is a rock.
someone else asked me a question that I knew the answer was going to be no to. Well, if ice is a rock, then is water lava? And I was like, no, there's no way this is going to be. I looked it up and I'm reading about it and it's like, it kind of is. Lava is any molten rock that comes out of a terrestrial planet. Now, molten means liquefied by heat. This is, I don't know what to believe anymore. Ice is a rock, water is lava, and you are a lava monster.
That's nice of me to like pop the comment I'm responding to up. Give a little bit of credit for this joke to Gia. Wait, look and see if what Gia's up to. Can I like view the comment and then go to Gia? Hello. Yeah, Gia makes TikTok videos. All right. Gia's got 56,000 followers. A linguist, educator, social justice advocate, unapologetically queer and genderqueer. Well, thank you for helping create one of my most popular TikToks. So yeah, ice is a rock. And we are lava monsters. I feel like I should approach the world as a lava monster some days. You know, if I'm having a hard time, I should just think to myself, yeah, but I'm a lava monster. And so you can't get in my way, even though you are also a lava monster probably. But you might not be, maybe you're not a lava monster. Maybe you're paperwork. Paperwork can't get in a lava monster's way. Never. It hasn't ever happened. So can we drink lava? I mean, we do all the time. Apparently, we drink basically nothing but lava. Wait, water is molten ice. Since cucumbers are primarily water, does that make them organic lava sticks? Also, I think that it makes pretty much every fruit and vegetable either like an organic lava stick or an organic lava sphere, an organic lava ball. Those are basically the 2 kinds of foods. Next time you have a grape, just pop a bunch of organic lava balls in your mouth. Sugary organic lava balls. I'm a lava monster and I didn't know it for 19 years? This is 2021, by the way. Wow. Rin says, this seems like a merch idea. This does seem like a merch idea. Thank you for reminding me that that's a good merch idea. So let's talk about that, universe. I feel like that's the kind of thing a lava monster could get done. We'll see, though.
Like my whole life, I've been told don't put metal in the microwave.
Metal in the microwave. This is my most popular TikTok on YouTube. So as a short. Let's watch through it.
How the fuck does this work?
First of all, don't put metal in the microwave. Second, this is metal, this is metal. All of the inside of your microwave is metal. And that metal will actually bounce the microwaves around. The microwaves are a form of light. They're electromagnetic radiation. They'll bounce around inside of your microwave, bouncing off all the walls, and then get absorbed by the food. What you don't want is a bunch of stuff that's going to reflect those waves in weird ways so that they overlap with each other and create really hot spots and cold spots. That might even focus the microwaves in on themselves and then like plasmify the air in your microwave. They could focus the microwave on the door of your microwave and like melt the metal. I would venture to say that those little screws in your microwave, sir, they do probably slightly decrease the efficiency of your microwave by bouncing some microwaves in weird directions, but they're not reflecting enough microwaves in enough weird directions for it to be a problem for you. I'm a little I don't really understand why this one has done so well. And also, watching it back just now, I'm I feel like I was overconfident about my explanation there. I don't know that I looked that stuff up. This is 2020. 2025, Hank is like, I probably should have done a little bit more research on that. So maybe I will make a video here on Hank's channel where I check out the extent to which I was right about that. It's weird. I feel like I've changed a little bit since that time. And I would have been more careful. I would have done more research on this topic. Some of that stuff's definitely right. The part where it like plasmifies the air, I don't think I looked that up. I mean, you see it though. You see like the blue light. I don't know. I gotta look that up, and I gotta look deeper. I'm gonna put metal in my microwave and eat grass. TikTok has always very much enjoyed it when I tell them not to do stuff. Like when I'm like the dad in the room and I'm like, you guys need to stop. You need to stop. What else can't go in the microwave? Asking for a friend. Crafty Cow thinks my microwave is clean. Thank you. I appreciate that. I work hard on it.
You cleaned out behind your stove lately?
It's none of your business. Oh, it's one of those. This was a trend on TikTok for a while where people would, I mean, it still is, honestly. People ask a question and then you answer with a completely different unrelated video. And that keeps people's attention for whatever reason. But I kind of started to not like it. It felt kind of mean sometimes. Not always. But definitely sometimes it felt really mean. Like people would do it in mean ways.
Did you know that it's almost impossible to keep building subways in Rome because as they do it, they keep uncovering like amazing archaeological finds?
Now this, I understand why this is a popular video. This is a very cool fact.
The Metro C expansion has been under construction for 40 years because they can't like dig this stuff up. As they dug down through layers of modern, Renaissance, and medieval remains to the level of ancient Rome, they found what looked like a grand stairway made with sheets of granite and antique yellow marble. I mean, it's all antique! Come on. Along the way, the remains of a matching stairway, these steps long, shallow, and deep, led archaeologists to the conclusion that they were looking at the seats of a covered rectangular amphitheater, a place where plays, speeches, and debates were held by the city's poets, scholars, and politicians. God, that's cool. I guess you're gonna have to take your bike to work, though.
Can you imagine being there for that archaeological dig? I mean, that's so cool. How does stuff just become underground? People build on top of it. A lot of times it's basically like you find floors, and so people just sort of like build on top of like they put floors on floors on floors. But sometimes they will move dirt in to fill in stuff so that they can build on top of it. This sounds like maybe it was a circumstance like that, because if there's like a big dip, you want to, there's no reason to like dig out all of the stuff that's down there. You just put dirt on top of it and build on top. I have an idea. What if they made the Metro also in a museum? Combine the two. This is kind of what they're doing. They like have areas where it's like available to the public to go look at. Helena says the city of Cologne has a different problem. Whenever we try to dig something, they come across World War II bombs. And I said, this happens in Rome too. We probably shouldn't have done all that war. So yeah, just in general, remember that sentiment heading forward. We probably shouldn't have done all that war. Number 7.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm sold.
Yeah, this is one of my very first TikToks, I think. I was starting to make TikTok, and I think this is a fake comment. I think this person was pulling my leg, but apparently nobody else did, because it was a very liked comment, and all the replies, I'm sure, are like, you're a legend! Sir, you're the only reason I passed chemistry this year. It says 290,000 people liked that comment. I don't think 290,000 people have ever watched Crash Course Chemistry, so I don't know. You guys need to get your butt together and go watch Crash Course Chemistry. I'm sure it has, but that's definitely more likes than it's had in the last year. A YouTuber with 11 million subscribers that probably every student has seen. 11 million. 15 million on Crash Course now. 8 million on SciShow, 3 million on Vlogbrothers, 2 million on Hank's channel. What's that add up to? Lots. Look, I'm not gonna be humble. And 8 million on TikTok now. Not back then. And now, maybe not anymore. I don't know. It's Saturday.
I gotta tell you about one of the,
Ooh, giant crystal cave. Great news. Great thing for my 8th most successful video. I should remake this for Hank's channel. There's more to say than I say in this video, but it is so cool. This is one of the coolest facts I've ever come across, is at the end of this video. And every time I like saw an article about the giant crystal cave, this fact was always sort of mentioned as an afterthought, as if it was maybe like a little too difficult to understand or explain, but it is so cool and such a good payoff if people watch the whole video.
weirdest and most dangerous places on or in Earth. This is what is sometimes called the giant crystal cave for obvious reasons. It's really like, you look at it and it feels like this is the size of a normal crystal that you could hold in your hand, and you see a human. And this cave was not naturally available for people to like see. It's part of a mine, and it was drilled into in the year 2000, and suddenly people were like, oh my God, we found a wild and amazing place. It was full of water then, but it's been emptied out as the mining has gone on around here. They're mining for other stuff. They pump the water out, and that has made this available to come and actually see for scientists, not for like regular people. The cave has actually been refilled with water now, so you can't go there anymore, but you could at one time go there. But you notice these people are wearing some specific outfits, and there's reasons why. Because if they weren't, they would die very quickly. First reason why, this is just very hot. It's about 55 Celsius, 131 Fahrenheit. It's also extremely humid. So it used to be full of water, so it's hot, and there's still water around, and that water is evaporating into the air, so it's like 90 to 100% humidity. That means your body cannot cool itself off by sweating, so you would just overheat and die. So they're wearing cooling suits.
It's cool that there are cooling suits. I don't know who invented those, and I don't know how they work. Are they electric powered? What happens? How do you build a cooling suit? Is it just like full up of that gel that you put in your freezer for when you hurt your knee? I don't know. I gotta figure that out.
But the other reason why they would die is just mind-boggling. Okay, so when we breathe out, there is water vapor in our breath. It's evaporating out of our lungs, and we're breathing it out. The water in our lungs is a liquid, and we breathe in cooler air that doesn't have as much water in it, so that water can evaporate into that air, and then we breathe it out, and there's water in that air. What you don't want is a situation where instead of evaporating from your lungs into your breath, it condenses in your lungs from your breath. If the air is very, very hot, and it's full of water, when you breathe it in, it cools down because your body's actually cooler than the air, and the water condenses in your lungs. And it condenses and condenses and condenses until you drown. Without their respirators, they would drown in the air. They would drown in the air.
I love that. There's a couple of things I could add, like, thinking of your lungs as like the outside of a fast food cup, with like the droplets of water, because the surface of the cup is colder than the air. And so with the air that hits it can hold less water so that it condenses there. Like sort of adding something that's more of a regular human experience that we all have. And then imagining that happening inside of your lungs. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. All right, we only got 2 left. What's number 9?
Stitch this and tell
It's
me
Kirsten.
a space act that just makes your brain go.
Oh, there was a time on YouTube where like my videos would do really well when I started them out by eating. It was like people would be like, well, he's going to say something, but he's not saying something yet. I have to wait. Versus if you were just like sort of not talking, people would be like, just scroll. This guy's not talking. But if you're eating, people are like, oh, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for him to finish eating. I swear that's like what psychologically the reason why a lot of people like TikTok start with people eating. Oh God, it was so much work to put these subtitles on, but it made the videos more sticky and exciting. And Peyton did that.
If the universe were infinitely big,
This is
and
great.
static, or infinitely old.
This is great.
either
This
way,
is so cool.
the sky would always be white with stars. Because an infinite universe, whether infinitely old or static, would have an infinite number of stars. And thus, every point in the sky would be a star, and its light would have had time to reach us. It's called Olber's paradox, and it was one of the first ways that we proved that the universe had a start.
I love this because, of course, like now we think this is normal, but like this wasn't a observation that required an experiment. It was just an observation that required thought. It was a philosophical exploration rather than a scientific one, but leading to a scientific conclusion that was both correct and well reasoned. It's either not infinitely big or it's not infinitely old. And it turns out it could still be infinitely big, but it is definitely not infinitely old. And we now know that. And I bet like if you told me Olber's paradox and like convinced me that it was true before we knew about the Big Bang, I would have been like, okay, so the universe isn't infinitely big, but it is infinitely old. It turned out to be swapped from that. And there's no like that. We just had to get like scientific data to figure that out. But like, that's not what I would have guessed. It's very weird that the universe had a beginning.
Because like that's not a thing that makes sense, right? It doesn't feel like it had a beginning. If it was always around, then all of those stars from infinitely far away, their light would have had time to get to us, and so the night sky would just be whiteness. It would just be bright. I don't know, man. That's just a lot. It's a lot.
So, that's a good video. I'm glad that one's in my top. It's a very good fact. It was pretty well done. It was a stitch with Kirsten, who is great and who you should follow on Instagram and YouTube, and also TikTok if it still exists, which, again, I'm recording this not knowing what the future will hold. All right, one more, and I just got a text from my wife that we have to go, so we're going to ram this one out. Between the years of 1993... Oh, yay! Oh, God, it's so cool that the top 10 included a video that I worked really hard on. There weren't many. I did not have many TikToks that I worked hard on, but I worked hard on this one. So there's a bunch of context to this video, which is that there was a creator who had gotten this toothpaste, and it came out with white and black stripes no matter what. And they tried to squish it up, and they tried to mix it all around. They tried to do a bunch of stuff to make it come out not black and white stripe, but no matter what they did, it always came out with black and white stripes, and they thought that it was some kind of mystery occurring, something that the toothpaste fairy was doing. And so I made this video to prove, in fact, that that's not what was happening. In 2009, the same woman's DNA was found at the scene of over 40 crimes, many of them murders. Police departments began to consider her a potential serial killer, but they could not find a match for her DNA in any criminal or non-criminal databases. And the crimes were deeply different from one another and happened across several different countries in Europe. Her DNA was found on a syringe that contained heroin, on a toy gun used in a robbery, in the car of a nurse who was found dead. Eventually, she became known as the woman without a face. And then they found her. She was working in the factory that supplied the cotton swabs to police departments throughout Europe that were used to collect the DNA samples. She had never been to any of the crime scenes. Her DNA had been carried to them on the swabs. There are two morals to this story. First, in science, if something is weird, contamination is always one of the first places you look. And second, and I'm sorry if this makes you feel a little crestfallen. Oh, wow, that's worth a like right there. After all that work, I hit you with the first pun of the video. If something seems impossible, it's because you're missing something. And that's such a great science lesson. Wow, I did a really good job with that video. If something seems impossible, it's because you're missing something. It's one of the things that I learned from being I mean, I knew this, but like I really learned it from doing science communication on TikTok, because people would send me things that seemed impossible all the time. Constantly seeing stuff that's like very weird, and then sometimes you end up being like, I still can't explain that. But I know that it's because I'm missing something. It's not because something impossible is happening. But many times, through a combination of my own effort, the effort of other people, comments to the TikTok, people who had reposted it other places, on Reddit threads or forum posts or wherever, you get to the bottom of it, and you're like, I never would have figured that out on my own, but like that person was able to figure out because their brain was in a different spot at that moment, or they knew a thing that I didn't know, or just pure dumb luck. It was like applying more brains to the problem has a higher chance of having somebody figure out the situation. If something seems impossible, you're missing something. What a good science lesson to take from the end of my top 10 TikToks that I ever posted on TikTok, and probably will ever post on TikTok, because even if it is still there, or if it does come back, I don't think the heyday of TikTok has passed. For me, for sure. But I think also for the platform in general. You know, I don't think any of those videos in my top 10 were from the last couple of years. Yeah, they were all from 20 and 21. Those were the days, man. It was a good time. It was a good time, and I'm glad for it. Personally, regardless of the sort of broader impacts on society, which I think have been mixed. But I'm very, very glad for it personally, and very glad for a lot of the connections I've made and a lot of the talent that TikTok helped discover in the science communication space especially. So I'll link to some people in the comments of this videos who are TikTokers I really love, who are making a go of it on YouTube, and you should definitely check them out. Maybe I will feature some more of their stuff in future Hank's channel content, because I am really impressed by a lot of the talent, and would love for those people to have an opportunity to have a foothold in more places and to reach more people, because there's just a lot of great folks. All right, that seemed like an end of a video.